Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to have some Division 15 online ranked gameplay in the Bantamweight division using the potential future champion, in my opinion, will be future champion Umar Nurmagomedov. And yeah, he's something special, and he's very unique for the Dagestani fighters in the sense that his striking is second to none, and his recent display against Corey Sandhagen showed a lot, to be honest with you, because he couldn't control Corey on the ground, so he was having to win the striking exchanges, and he was doing a very good job in doing so. I think he ultimately, definitely, clearly won the fight. It would have been nice to see more of him on the ground against someone like Sandhagen, who's of course the elite of the elite, and took a massive risk in taking that fight, and that can't really be overlooked, in all honesty. But yeah, it would have been nice to see him control him a bit more, but Sandhagen was doing his job very well, and using his jiu-jitsu to get out of the difficult positions, hand fighting, using the cage. Even Umar after the fight, and I think this is how you know how he's going to be a champion, is that he was disappointed in his performance because he couldn't control Sandhagen on the ground, even though he quite clearly dominated the fight. I think he did on the scorecards as well. It was a very impressive performance from him. But nevertheless, we are utilising him here today in a 5-round fight for the belt against Davidson Figueiredo. And now Figgy's another one who's come up and looks absolutely phenomenal. In all honesty, you could argue the fact that he deserves the title shot more, considering the caliber he's fought since coming up. He submitted Cody Garbrandt, and then he's the first person to knock down Cheeto in a very impressive performance. So you could really argue that given the caliber that he should be fighting for the belt, but I think it's clear as day that the winner between Sean and Merab will fight Umar for the belt, and I think if it's Sean, it will be a harder fight, to be honest with you, because Sean is very tricky to take down. I think if it's Merab, I see Umar winning. I see there's a clearer path to victory, in all honesty. I don't think Merab's grappling is going to be as good as Umar's, and that's his strong point. And even the strike in Umar's is just clear when it comes to Merab. But with Sean, the length might cause a problem, because obviously the reach, his movement might cause a problem, and he's very hard to keep and stay down. I mean, his grappling game is very underrated, but very interested to see what happens with Umar. But right now you can see it's the first round, which is the rounds I make reads in. You can see landing a nice little elbow there. But Figgy's doing a good job of sort of whittling away at the block. I should be moving my head really to avoid these jabs. I'm not quite sure, looking back at this, why I wasn't, and this is why sometimes it's really helpful watching gameplay back to see where you was making mistakes and what you can do to improve. But Figgy trapping me against the fence here. You can see, look, just throwing volume. But the problem with this is, although it is mutilating and damaging my block, left himself open for an elbow and we get the knockdown. So damage wise, we can clearly see who won that round. Beautiful drop there through the elbow, and another thing that's going to do is open up a cut. And anyone that plays this game enough knows that doctor stoppages can really change the momentum of the fight as soon as they get called in once. But with that being said, there's been a gash opened up here on my face as well, so shoot for the takedown, because as soon as that cut opens up, realistically you don't want to be taking any damage, don't want to risk a doctor stoppage, especially when it starts flashing. I think he did a good job of taking me down there, but does the right thing and lets me get up, even though his jiu-jitsu is phenomenal. You don't necessarily want to be on the ground with someone like Umar, because once that position gets reversed, the top control is so strong, the submission game is such a big threat, that ultimately you'll be annoyed that you didn't get up when you had the chance. So got the stun there as well, so doing very good work on the feet in terms of landing significant strikes and shots that are overall causing significant health events. Doing a bad job defensively on the feet, however. You can see that gash is really big now, so I've got to be very careful as I'm fighting out the southpaw stance. And we get a beautiful takedown here. So originally wrapped round to his back, we then moved him backwards and landed straight into side control. But with that being said, Figgy's ground game is very good, so I've got to be very cautious here, and what I'm going to try to do is deny as much as possible, You see I fake the transition up, which is one of the better fakes to do from side controls if you're going knee on belly, and often or not you'll see that your opponent will instantly try and move. And from here we get into crucifix. Now all I'm trying to do right now is drain stamina and get that cut to open up even more, because right now I'm leaking blood, and whenever we get onto the feet, as soon as that cut gets touched, there's a high probability that the doctor could come in and look to stop the fight. So to counteract that, I'm going to absolutely drain his stamina, deny as much as possible, and also use those elbows to rip apart the cut that's already formulated on his face, to hopefully act as a mitigator, so that when he steps in to throw, he's also got to be cautious of the fact that his face is extremely cut. And these elbows, although for some reason they don't count as significant, which to me makes no sense, I really would like the logic behind how those strikes aren't significant, but although they aren't significant, they will be doing a lot of damage and whittling away at the head health. You could see that Figgy done a great job there, putting me straight into full guard with that transition through his jiu-jitsu. And I've got to be careful here, because the elbows that he lands there can still cut me, and he did land one before I started posturing up, and you've just got to be really careful. But good utilisation of the ground and pound here, mixing up the strikes well, not getting reversed, which is key at this point in the round. Like I said, just looking to rack up and do what I can, but we knee weave straight into top mount and really utilising the ground and pound here, land a slashing elbow, and you can really see Figgy's face is really cut up. So we've taken control of this round here and done a good job. Again, he gets the underhook and manages to get the sprawl. We throw a couple strikes and I believe he transitions and ends up getting out, but ultimately that's the end of the round, so I don't mind giving up that position. Now the stats there do reflect well. I think that's 2 rounds in the bag going into the third, and just got to be cautious of the damage that I've taken to the face. But ultimately you can see I waste no time there in getting the fight straight onto the ground, ended up in side control, which is an extremely dominant position, and going to do what I do best. Now I originally thought he was going to fake that, so I didn't deny it, but he done a good job there and ends up putting me back into full guard, so now it's my job to work out of it. You can see do a good job there of working out, and he does the very smart thing in getting to the sprawl position. If you're coming up against someone and they're very good at denying, the one thing you can always rely on is getting to sprawl, and ultimately looking to deny their transitions and go from there. So you can see I faked going back into the sprawl position, and I was going to see if I can get the back, but Figueiredo does a good job there, and now we're back in his full guard, which is not the safest place to be, especially when you can see I'm looking to land ground and pound, I'm looking to stay active, whittle away, because all it takes is my arm to get stuck in an armbar, and we all know how overpowered it can be, that armbar. I don't want to say overpowered because there's avenues to get out, but if you're against the right people, it definitely feels like you don't have a chance. Finally get back into side control, he goes for it again, but now we're pretty wise to it. Again, thought he was going to fake, but gets me straight back into full guard. So a little bit frustrating there. I should be doing a better job picking up on the reads, but again, staying very active. I think that the main difference with grappling is you don't want to be a boring grappler. You don't just want to lay and pray. Sort of, I hate to offend the current welterweight champion of the world, but Bilal is extremely boring. Even someone like the great Usman, when he got on top of you, the submission threat really wasn't there, but obviously he did mix in the ground and pound, whereas with Bilal there's not much threat from any avenue. So one thing you do want to do is rack up on the strikes. You can see I did actually try to go to side control there. You did see it pop up, but for some reason it didn't let me initiate it. I don't know if it's because my stamina was too low, and Figueiredo ends up now getting on top, and we can see what work he's going to look to implement, but slight stamina advantage again. He elbows and actually chooses to get up, which if I was him I probably would have looked to see if I could secure that position, in all honesty, just because he got held there for so long that you could maybe start whittling away and also do some damage of your own, and not only that, just further open up that cut. But decided to stand up. We instantly take him back down, because ultimately I'm not going to risk my cut getting worse. Knee weave straight into mount again. We're timing that very well when he's going for the sprawl. Good job there to block one of the punches, but you can see his face is really opening up now, and another very dominant round. Now right now I haven't really gone for any submissions attempts. And as we're approaching the 4th and 5th, normally if I haven't gone for any, I will start to look at it for the 4th and 5th because stamina's a bit lower. Not privy to it because I haven't been going for the attempts prior to this point. And yeah, it's just a good time to catch people out is what I've noticed from the games I've played. So 4th and 5th round now, championship rounds. This is what makes a champ. You can see the cuts on my face, the cuts on Figgy's face as well. Mine was below the eye. His is above on the forehead, so the blood will be leaking straight into his eye. He's probably in a worse position than mine, to be honest with you. So if the doctor is going to come in for anyone, I would expect it to be him. You can see he's using a lot of side steps here and lunges, so that's put me off using that side kick to push him back. I did throw a little teep there, and I'm also throwing hooks to try catch him because he'll be more vulnerable as he's moving into it. But you can see the tiniest of punches there really does split open that cut very, very easy. I mean, the detailing in the game is phenomenal when it comes to that aspect. Clinch up just because we're near the fence, take him there and look to get a takedown. And what I do is I actually jump onto the back, which is something I don't do often because a lot of the times people do just deny it and they do struggle with the walking backwards takedowns. But he done a very, he didn't deny it, so he's ended up in a worse for wear position, and we go straight to the armbar. So now this will be the first proper gauge. This is his first time getting a submission attempt. You can see he's draining my stamina here after I land some punches. We get that deny and we get the first escape, which again is a very good time to get it considering there is 2 minutes and 55 seconds left. Staying patient. I think I actually faked that, which I've done a good job on, and the stamina differential here is big, and that's going to be very important on the ground to rack up GA and also to prevent submission attempts. So he goes to that full guard transition. We get him straight back into the crucifix, picking up where we left off, I believe, in round 2. And again, whittling away, staying as patient as possible. He does a good job shrugging me off. And again, shrugging me off there. So going from side saddle back to side control. Again, still a dominant position. He's still got a lot to do. The right denials here is key. And just whittling away with that elbow. Now, what I'm really looking to do is wait for his stamina to get uber low and go for one of those instant subs. So when he looks to transition, I deny it and it falls straight into a sub because they're very, very sneaky. And they catch a lot of people off guard. But the ground and pound is working wonders here, doing a lot of damage as we go for the arm triangle here. And you can see I'll go for the submission instantly just to see what he'd do. He'd done a good job in denying. And here I'm staying patient. I'm playing around with the stamina, looking to see what he was doing. Seeing if I can get any reads. You see I fake go for the arm triangle there. And he actually rolls straight out. I did think I got that deny, but evidently not. And he's instantly on the pressure. We clinch up, we move away. I was going to clinch to rotate him to the cage or try and get one of those sneaky little trips in, but he got out, so we land a beautiful teep to the body. Again, right now the fight is in my hands. I land a nasty roundhouse to the body, then followed by a lead knee, and then again we get the rock there, and then we get the big knockdown to finish round 4. And that's exactly what you want to see from your fighter in round 4, getting that big knockdown after devastating ground and pound, and just overall work on the ground really neutralised the threat from Figgy, and ultimately have dominated the fight from start to finish. Would have kept it on the feet a bit more had it not have been for that cut. And you can see now when he's starting to sidestep, he just doesn't have the energy for it. You can quite clearly tell that the fight is here for the taking, as long as I don't get overzealous, which is something that I've been guilty of in the past. But when I use Umar or any of the Dagestani fighters, I really try to emulate that calmness that they have and the ability to pick their shots well. We haven't really seen someone like him, I'd say, since Zabit. I mean, I do categorise Islam as a whole separate sort of level to the Dagestani fighters because he's striking so good and he's just absolutely phenomenal. Umar striking is also a different level, but the way Zabit mixed it all was something to be seen, and hopefully we see a lot more of that from Umar in future fights, a lot more finishes. So Figgy actually goes for the clinch there, but we end up breaking away. And right now, again, still being patient. The finish is definitely there for the taking, but I'm utilising the roundhouse, weakening the body as he goes for a double elbow there, splitting open my cut even more. We shoot for the takedown and we get it. So could have looked to keep it on the feet, but we've done such good work on the ground that, to be honest with you, I was trying to get a finish there. Finally getting back to the ground. Again, tries to get me in full guard now. He doesn't really have the submissions to do the stamina, sorry, to do too much. He goes for the same transition again, but we've picked up that he's not going to fake that transition. He's actually going to go for it, and again, just going to be whittling away. And here you can see the panic has really set in because he knows that I can get to that crucifix position or go for a sub. We instantly go for the arm triangle where his stamina zeroed out, and there was no point wasting time, so I go straight for it. So hope you guys enjoyed me using Umar. This is how I use him. Take a measured approach, strike where possible, but like I said, the cut really did impact the amount I wanted to strike. Couldn't risk being on the feet and having a doctor stoppage. Opponent's very, very respectful, which is always nice because a lot of people can't really say that, especially after fighting grapplers. They tend to be very angry. So thank you guys for all the support on the content. I'm trying to upload as much as I can, but my personal life is a bit busy. But thank you all. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like as well, and for any content recommendations, please let me know in the comments below as you see that dominating scorecard, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.